People, welcome back to another stream. How we doing, man? I feel like I've been live so many times today. Big up for everyone that's just come over from the football terrace. I was just on there with Terry and the top six guys having a bit of a debate about a lot of stuff, including Old Trafford falling down, which was quite funny. Massive show tonight. My brother Errol's on the show. Fortunately, Grizz couldn't make it. There's been some big Liverpool news. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it, and he needs to cover that obviously on his own channels and networks and stuff. So he's not available to make it tonight, but don't worry. He said next week we'll do a little bit of a recap or something after the game, which hopefully it can come on and hold the elbow. that's what we're going to hope anyway. Going to get some shout outs in the chat. Yes, in the chat. And then we'll get the show started. Big up to Mark, big up to Dash, Lars, Asbestos, City 9320. Big up to Ballotube, Ronald, George, T1 Dots, the resident Liverpool fan. Big up to Arvida Zane, Samir, Raja, AU, Spud Tate, Sam Martin, Herbal. Big up to King Mo. Big up to B, Brett. Mojis is in the building. Big up to Herbal, Elder, Jack, Sub 2, Spud Tate. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Do me a favor, man. Please make sure you drop a like on the stream. And please make sure you are subscribed to the channel, man. We've got to bring the main man in. Man like Errol, bro. How we doing, bro? We all right?
Wow, what's happening? What's happening in the chat? Hope everybody's good. Got those Friday vibes. Yeah, this is the calm before the storm, bro. Literally the calm before the storm, market.
I know. How you feeling, bro? Because I can't lie yet. Like, it doesn't hit me yet. Like, I'm notorious for not feeling too many nerves until I see the players in the tunnel. Like, I'm pretty calm up until all the day of the game. I'm usually fine, and then as soon as I see the players in the tunnel, bang, and my head's gone. Head loss, complete head loss, bro.
Nah, I'm just going through all the permutations in my mind already of like, you know, what does it mean for us to win this weekend? What does it mean for City if they go on to win? Arsenal, like I think I said it to you. I think I said it in our group chat before. I was like, you know, if we draw or like whatever, or like no, not even before if we draw, like Arsenal, they play on a Saturday, they might be top of the league before we even kick the ball. So it's like pressure's on from early. Like the pressure is on, bro. Like it's been mad, but you know what? When you deep it, like I just wish more of these title races were like this. We're just jam-packed with like other teams in the mix as well, because this has felt different. I don't know if it's been the Jurgen Klopp news over the last couple of weeks or whatnot, but this season's just felt different. So I'm excited, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous.
The grim at the title races, like the way they make you feel like, bro, I'm down bad, me. I've been doing these prayer longs, yeah, and they're just, bro, the chat's cooking me, man. You know what I mean? It's like LB, you can't call them prayer longs anymore. You know what I mean? So some people are saying just don't do them at all. They're not watching. And you know what's crazy? Yeah? You know what's mad about like these title races and stuff? It's really funny because whenever I speak to like other fans, they forget. Because in these title races, City have always come up on top. Whenever we've come up against you in a title race, because obviously the year you won it, we were just dead. And last year, obviously, was in a title race with Arsenal. People forget that, like, we go through the exact same thing as Liverpool fans went through and the Arsenal thing. The only difference is that come match day 38, we're celebrating and you're not. Like, it's still grim. And I tell you how I know this is serious, yeah? When I did the prayer along for the Forest game, and chat can confirm, even in like the 93rd, 94th minute, I was like, they're going to score.
Yeah,
bro, I can see, we can see it because I've watched it too many times, man. I put a bet on, I put a £2 bet on in the 93rd minute of the game, Liverpool to win, won 20 quid. I was buzzing. Well, not buzzing, obviously, but I won 20 quid. Pay for 4 pints. But it's just like, you know it's going to happen, man. Like, it is so grim. But that's just a credit to the teams, man, because obviously the teams are class. And, you know, I was saying this morning on the show with a couple of the boys that, like, you know what it is now? Draws are horrendous in the title races because what City and Liverpool done, and obviously Arsenal last year, is like we've elevated the points requirement. Yeah, like if you look at the league tables from like back in like 2004, if I go like I don't know league table like
2007, 6, 7, 8. Don't think anyone got close to 90 points. I think did Chelsea get close to 90?
They got 87, but they drew 6 games and they lost 5. That's still really low. Like usually, like if you're getting 87, 88 points, like that's not going to win you the league nowadays. 87 points.
Not good enough. That's how I knew Arsenal weren't going to do it last season, bro, because of that metric. Like, and I've said it even like I say, you know, I do a lot of shows on the Red Men. My like early memories of doing any content with them was always going on. My gripe was the draws because I've seen it. Because I remember being perplexed, bro. I remember being like, what year must it have been? 08, 09. It was, yeah. I must have been just leaving school. Maths has always been my shit subject, but I was just leaving school. And I couldn't actually work out, like on face value, you know, when you just see the table at like at first glance, I was like, how have we lost 2 games all season? Man, you have lost about 5 or 6, yet they're winning the league. And we're not because we've had like 8 or something draws. And like that was like a proper watershed moment for me as a fan. I was like, if we're ever going to win the league, we need to have minimal draws because it's the draws that kill you. And I always, that's like a scar for me. The draws are the biggest scar as a Liverpool fan for over the years because I've just always felt that they'll be your Achilles heel. And I always look at like that metric of the draws to be like, boom. See, again,
Bro,
you know
that is wild, bro.
We lost 1 game all season, but the amount of bag of draws that we were just raking in, they always just come back to bite you on the arse. I always just find them like, the draining because, you know, most of the teams that we'd have probably drew that season, we probably should have just beat on paper and we probably beat them in the away fixture or the other reverse fixture. But I just always have this niggling feeling in my head that like as soon as you start totting up too many draws, that's when your title race chances just diminish straight away. And I feel like that's why I gave us a outsider's chance this season because you had quite a number of draws straight out the gate. Up this season more than what I was used to. You drew with Chelsea quite early on. You had a couple of other draws in the mix, and you lost to Arsenal. I was thinking, okay, yeah, like that is the type of form that you can topple. My thing is, I've always said, obviously, the way that we went and won it that year was you weren't great. We knew what we was up against. We knew the level we had to be. So next year, we just continued that momentum, and we were so much better for it. Liverpool had to be out in front. I feel like we've done enough over the years now under Jurgen Klopp, especially with this being his last year, to now win a title race as well, because we've done it and won the league because we've just done a storm through. But I genuinely believe that at this point now, we've got enough experience, we've got enough pain and hurt to actually go the distance in a title race.
Yeah, I mean,
we'd all look. I think you've seen it. You know the elation. You did it against Man U last day of the season. And won a big one. The Aguero moment goes down in history. You've done it against us on a number of occasions. Like, you know that adulation come the final whistle on the final day. I want to experience that this season.
Yeah, no, it's the best way, man. But listen, this is the thing about like City this season. If we don't win the league, I'm gonna be like so annoyed and like disappointed because, and I know you can say this about the games that you didn't win, and so can Arsenal. But like the games that we didn't win, it's pretty much our own fault, man. Like I look back at Palace at home, 2-0 up, bro. We was absolutely cruising in that game. Like Palace were just sitting there doing F all. I literally text D in the group chat, yeah, during the game when we was 2-0 up and said, this is one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a team at the Etihad. Bro, they just sat there and then we just was so crap to let them back into the game and then they got the last minute penalty. I look at the game against Chelsea away from home. We scored 4 goals. Our defending that day was honestly, that's probably the worst defensive performance we put in. Maybe going back to like Pep's first year or like 4 years ago before we got Ruben Diaz. It was horrendous. Spurs at home, you know, we went 1 goal up. We were by far the better team. Just never put them away. Same with you guys, 1-0 up. And then we were just passing it around as if like just waiting for the full-time whistle. And it's just like, that's the only ones really that I can't really moan about, to be honest with you, is like Arsenal, because we probably didn't do enough to, we didn't deserve to lose, but we didn't do enough to win. Yeah. Same with Wolves and Villa. Villa absolutely battered us. Like the other games, it's just we should win, man. And listen, this is why I personally think that I keep saying this. I think obviously Sunday is a huge game, and I think we got to go to Anfield and win. Because like I just think if we don't win, if it's a loss, right? Obviously we don't win. There's only 2 options. If you lose with 4 points behind Liverpool with an inferior goal difference, bro, I'm thinking like, right, okay, are we really going to overturn that in 10 matches? I'm not 100% sure on that. If we draw, of course, we're still in it. But then the Arsenal game, I don't want to hear no City fans say, oh, we can get away with a draw there. Because then you're just kidding yourself. Where's that W mentality that we had last year that like every game we was going to go into, like, we're going to beat Real Madrid, we're going to beat Bayern, we're going to beat United, we're going to beat Inter Milan, to all of a sudden just going, oh yeah, don't worry, we can take another point against us. No. Like, for me, I think we need to beat you guys on Sunday. If we draw, there's absolutely, I'm not having anyone telling me that we can draw against Arsenal at home. We have to win that game if we do draw against you. But I don't know, man. Like, what's your take on Liverpool at the moment? Sort of like, obviously you had a game last night against Sparta Prague, got the W. You're probably through to the next round now as well. A couple injury scares, obviously. You got Kanate. I read the quote from Klopp before. It seems like, I don't know really what he's trying to tell me, really. Like, what do you reckon he's trying to say there? Because he didn't really say one way or the other, did he?
No, I think that I said it in the chat. I was like, I hope it's just smoke and mirrors. Really do hope it's smoke and mirrors, because we need all of our players fit at the minute. Like that's the only thing that like is concerning for me as a Liverpool fan at the moment. I've been pleasantly surprised with our capabilities all season to just deal with what's in front of us, especially some of the level that we've displayed at certain times when you probably just thought, you know what? Do you know, like, the most impressive period has been the period where we've had the biggest injuries. Like, we was only supposed to lose Salah for like 6 weeks. We was back in March before he came back to play. Like, the goals that we were scoring in January, the team must have scored over 30 odd goals. Jota was on fire. You know, Nunes was chipping in with goals. We was getting goals from midfield. Like, everybody was doing the bit, and I think everybody has done the bit this season. It's just so unfortunate the amount of injuries have really stacked up at a bit of a bottleneck point in the season where there's no real room for. That's why we just keep having to win. Like, the mentality has just been pushed to just win. Like, every game that's in front of us, whether it's the Carabao Cup, whether it's the FA Cup, whether it's the Euro, like, just go out and win it. Like, we can't stop and slow down now and get out of the mentality that, like, oh, we can manage this game with a draw, or we could do a replay here, or we could take that game to penalties. No, just go out, win within 90 minutes and do the best that you can. And I think you've seen that in some of, like, Klopp's substitutions in recent weeks, especially with the likes of the Carabao Cup final. I thought in that, towards the second half extra time, I just thought you'd seen enough. He was like, look, you know, it would be nice, and I'd love it for the kids, I'd love it for the day out, I'd love it for the fans. However, there are other things that we need to start prioritising. And he did it with, you know, in the FA Cup against Arsenal, and brought a couple of kids on there towards the end, and we still go out and get the win. So there's a real, you know, hunger and focus on mentality at the moment to just be absolutely killer and elite, and I love to see it, because it's not just embedded in the senior pros, it's there within the young players now. They're getting a taste of it, and a taste of what it takes to be at the top table. The only drawback, and I think my stance on how the season plays out, in the event that Liverpool beat City this weekend, the only thing stopping Liverpool from winning the league, I genuinely think, is going to be the injuries and our ability to bring people back from injury. I think if we're not able to manage that effectively enough, and we was to take another big blow, i.e. Alisson being out for the rest of the season, Trent not being able to come back, Van Dijk or Salah, you're probably asking a little bit too much of what's left within the squad. I think they've given absolutely everything until this point, and I still believe they'll continue to give more. It's just, we're riding a wave of momentum at the moment, and you've been there before. It only takes a couple of things to not go your way, and all of a sudden it can start to unravel very quickly.
And you know what as well about the momentum? Yeah, momentum's like the biggest thing in football, right? Because momentum takes you through games. Like, when we go on these mad streaks, 10, 11, 12, 13 match winning streaks, like, you just breeze through games. Like, and even the ones that you don't breeze through, like, you still win the match. But once you come out of that momentum, sometimes it can hit you for a couple of games. So you're obviously going to hope that you get to the end of the season. You know what's mad here is how, like, obviously
like,
at Liverpool,
full squad now, bro, I'd be like, boom, smoke for everybody. Everybody can get it, because
this is literally what I was just about to say. Is you know what's crazy? Yeah, is like City obviously just won 3 titles in a row. Liverpool won a title a few years ago, yeah, and obviously won the Champions League. Arsenal not won anything for time. They're up here just slapping teams left, right, and centre. Like Sheffield United, boom, 5 goals in the first half. Newcastle, 4 goals. Burnley, bang, all these teams, bang, bang, bang. And I'm like,
he slapped us, they bopped us off the park,
yeah,
bro.
I'm like, what's going on?
Like Arsenal were on it, like literally they was on it from the word go the other month. Do you know what I mean? And like, I like. There's a part of me that respects what Arteta's done, because I had this conversation with the Arsenal fan the other day, and you know, one of their big takeaways was the fact that, like, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to understand that Arteta isn't guaranteed to win anything, which I think we all know. But the fact that he's lodged himself in between Klopp and Pep in what is now Klopp's last season, you've got to put a little bit of respect on his name, because no other manager stepped up to the plate in the entire time that City have had this level of dominance. Apart from Klopp, which people across the footballing spectrum respected anyway, no other managers stepped up to the plate. Mourinho didn't really challenge. Do you know what I mean? When he was at Man U, Ollie wasn't really challenging when he was at Man U. Do you know what I mean? Conte hasn't challenged. Poch didn't challenge. Like, bare managers that people rate have not come close. Yet Arteta, for over 12 months now, has pushed himself into a position of relevance. And I just think, if it was me as an Arsenal fan right now, I'd be like, raw. I don't think this year might be my year, but I could foresee. Well, I already know Klopp's going at the end of the summer, so that means Liverpool aren't guaranteed to be the same level instantly. You've got Pep, who I think will probably go next year now, and then all of a sudden, Arteta's best in class. Everybody's got to catch up to me and what I've built, and my crop of players are now in their prime. So come talk to me nicely, because I'm all, do you know what I mean? Like, I think he will have that, not necessarily credibility, but he will have that experience and that wherewithal and that know-how to be able to navigate himself up against anybody else that does come and just kind of be dropped in. Because I don't really think you can come in and just drop 200, 300 M's to get yourselves the world beaters to take you to titles. You've got to build something. And I think it is difficult and it is enjoyable to be in the mix with the three of them. But I just still think Klopp and Pep are still ahead. The squads are still a little bit ahead. I think what Arsenal are doing at the minute are incredible. But I think where it's going to, not necessarily their undoing, but I think what's potentially going to cost them in the long run this season is the Champions League. They'll navigate the way at home against Porto, and then they'll come up against a team that they will fancy themselves against based on current form, but they're going to come up against a team that's got European heritage. And I think at that point, that's where Arteta's mind and shift and focus may just change. And that will be the real challenge for Arsenal this season. I don't think the Premier League is the challenge. I think there'll be a couple of big games in the Premier League that they'll find challenging. But I think the majority of the games between now and the end of the season, Arsenal will win quite comfortably. The challenge for me is how they navigate the Champions League with the other commitment. But I need them to go deep in the Champions League as well. I need them to beat a bit of European heritage, let them do the Arsenal thing of getting gassed and carried away into a semi-final. And then I want the hearts broken at the very last.
You're a cruel guy. Big up to Wolves, man, with the 5. Says, yes, I'm expecting City to prevail at Anfield. Well, listen, our record at Anfield is stinky, man. Stinky. But listen, I've got to be confident. I am confident. I think we can get the win. And Wolves, listen, I think we will win. I've gone for a 3-1 win. Not like a mad, like, we're going to batter you 3-1. You know, like maybe we're 2-1 up and then maybe we get you on the counter as you're pressing to try and get an equaliser sort of thing. That's what I'm going for. But listen, I'm under no illusions that this is going to be a tough game. But I've got to back my team to be able to go there and win. You know, we've got pretty much a full fit squad bar Grealish, which is a loss, despite what people want to tell me. It is a loss, especially at Anfield, because what he can bring there would have been great. But, you know, we've still got other players that can play there. I think Foden's going to probably play out on that left-hand side and he'll be able to do it. Kovacic,
he's been cold.
Bro, Foden's just like smoking at the moment. It's unreal. And if we can bring Kovacic into the midfield, a man of mad experience, you know what I mean? He's that should be fine. There shouldn't be any major problems there. I don't know. I've been having a couple of debates with my mates today. You think this is going to be a tight game? Because there's 2 ways the game could go, right? Liverpool, on one hand, look at this and say, we win this game, we pretty much knock City out of this title race. Okay, not 100%, but it's a solid punch, right? They're on the ropes. 4 points, inferior goal difference to Liverpool, 10 games to go. They've still got to play Arsenal and Villa in the next 2 games. If we beat them, there's a good chance that they're gone, right? But on the other hand, they're probably thinking to themselves, if we lose this game, Liverpool probably think, if we lose this game and open up a bit too much and we get punished and lose, City will probably be thinking we're going to go and win the title if we beat Liverpool at Anfield. City probably looking at it going, we kind of really need to win this game for the reasons I've just explained. But again, if they get a draw, if City get a draw, we're still in there. It's not ideal, but we're still in there. Do you think the game's going to be an open game because both teams are like, Liverpool are like, we want to beat you because if we beat you, you're out. And City saying, we want to beat you because if we beat you, we've basically won the league. Or you think it's going to be really cagey where both teams are like, I don't know, really.
It's a chess match, and I think it's going to be a game of moments. I think there will be some absolute incredible moments, touches, moments of like sheer brilliance, and then you expect that. You know, the two teams. I've watched enough content over the last couple of days. The amount of combined 11s from past to present, the two teams that you put out. You know, the B team wins the Premier League, the B team wins the Champions League, the A team wins both, wins it all. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the level that they're at. So there is going to be some incredible moments. I want one last dust up though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want, like, the way, like, I'm watching from 2014, the 3-2. Do you get me with the Coutinho? Where, like, I want a little back and forth where the game just keeps swinging after 25 minutes. You know, City are, 2-0 up by half time. It's 2-2. Then there's like you know what I mean? Like, I would love the game that you had with Chelsea, but we stop at 4-3. Like, I'd love something like that. But in my gut's telling me it's going to be a 1-0 type of game on the day. And I think, and the reason that I say that is because, that Haaland goal, you didn't have much. You said it yourself earlier, you passed around, you didn't really have much. Haaland just gets that one goal, and that's really all you do, in the reverse fixture. And I think City, at the minute, they don't necessarily look the most lethal and dangerous sometimes. Haaland's missing more chances than you're probably used to seeing him miss. I think you're relying on big players to come up with big clutch moments for you. And I think we're almost quite similar in that respect. Obviously, Darwin Núñez does that the other day against Forest. So we are in a similar vein. But I think I keep going back to it. If we had all of our players available, if you asked me who's playing the better football, Liverpool or City, with a full squad embedded into this, it's us by a long shot at the minute, because the football that we're playing with the players that we've got available is nothing short of phenomenal, because it's still leaving us in this position. I remember, you had your stance very early into the season. Wait till De Bruyne's back. If De Bruyne comes back in January and we're within touching distance, we can go on and do it. My thing was, let me get out of January. And if we're out of January and we're looking like we're still within touching distance of what I thought at the time would be City, we could go on and push them right up until the last game. We're in the middle of fucking March, bro. We're about to be in the middle of March next week. Like, it doesn't get more cutthroat and neck than this in terms of the two teams and where they're actually both at.
Facts. You know what it is for me in this game? I think City will create chances. Yeah. I don't see how a team with Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Foden doesn't create chances. So I think we will create chances. For me, it's whether or not we're going to be clinical in those moments. In those moments, when we get the chances, say we go 1-0 up, well, do we go 1-0 up? If we go 1-0 up and we get another chance, will we go 2-0 up? Because 2-0 up, I'd backing us then. Yeah, if we miss, if Haaland has an off day and he misses chances, because I also, chat will know, I can't back my team to keep clean sheets at the moment, unfortunately. You know what?
And one of the back us to score goals. That's the thing with us at the minute. We're always good for a goal. Do you get me? We are always good for a goal.
Well, that's why a lot of people are saying it could be a draw, because like I'm saying, I think we have to score at least 2 goals to win this football match, because I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. There's been no evidence that my defense is performing at a good enough level for me to say that we're going to go to Anfield and keep a clean sheet against Salah, Núñez, and whoever else plays. So, listen, for me, I think we're going to create chances. I'd back us to probably create a few more chances than Liverpool in terms of clear-cut opportunities. It's whether or not we are clinical in those moments. It's also probably a set pieces for you are a massive weapon. My set pieces, bro, are an absolute disgrace. It's something, despite all the success that this club's had over recent years, our corners and our set pieces are actually an embarrassment. And in fact, you'll know that because last year we lost the game at Anfield because of our set piece. Because Kevin De Bruyne put in a crap ball, he just floats them in. I don't really like Kevin De Bruyne taking set pieces, bro. I love him. I think he's the best player that's ever played for my football club. But one thing that I'm really just not a fan of him doing is corners and set piece crosses, because he doesn't whip them in and he floats them in. And that's how we lost the game last year, in fact, because he floated it in and Pep called him out in the press conference afterwards. But you guys are super dangerous on set pieces. Virgil van Dijk. You know what? I almost want to go old school and just say Ruben. Fucking man marking, man. None of this zonal marking, yeah. Get Ruben Diaz or Rodri and say, he's your man. If he scores, your fault. You know, like it used to be back in the day. And then we changed the whole football continent, yeah, across Europe, just changed to zonal marking because Van Dijk is such a threat, man. It's crazy.
His movement's brazy in the box, though, bro. Like, I was going to ask you before, like, he is back to that level, isn't he? I feel like when you put your bias aside,
as well, bro. No bias, bro. He is back to his best. What I would say is, though, I didn't think he was going to get back to his best, brother, because you know when he got that injury, which was a mad tackle, a crazy tackle from Pickford, and
not even a pen.
Yeah, it's crazy. But then he obviously come back, and he was still good. I'm not saying he was like he was crap, but he was clearly nowhere near the level of what he was previously. And bro, I was looking at his age, man. I'm thinking this guy's 31, 32, 32 years old. This guy's he's not going to be at that level. He's just like he's a good defender, but he's not top class. So for him, I think you know what, this year, yeah, I think he's basically gone into this season saying, I'm going to go for it 100%. If my body breaks down, it breaks down. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to go into the season, I'm not going to go into matches giving 80% because I'm scared of getting myself injured or scared of getting some sort of muscle injury. And it's paid off because he's not got any injuries and the guy's cooking again.
He trusts his body again, bro. He's there, like. I had the privilege of bumping into man, and honestly, he is a man mountain. Like, but he looks like he's ready. Do you know what I mean? And I know a couple of people that like are behind the scenes doing various bits and bobs with like the players and whatnot. And you know, I said it on the Race for Europe. He said from middle of this, like November, December, I want the first trophy. As captain, I need that first trophy lift. Like, I need to get it over the line. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was his driving force. And I think when you deep it, he probably sees himself as a player levels above Henderson. But in terms of what Henderson went on to achieve, you've got your own ego, you've got your own pride and all the rest of them things. Like, in terms of what a player went on to achieve, Henderson achieved and won it all as the captain. So your job is to better the person that did it before you. How do you do that? You've got to go and build your own legacy now as part of as the captain and you know, at Liverpool Football Club. And I think that the likes of Virgil van Dijk has just been absolutely incredible for us again this season. He's been one of our best players, if not our best player. I think, you know, there was a big shout for Trent Alexander-Arnold. I thought he was probably in some of the best form of his career again for us for a couple of seasons, really. He looked really good. Mo's been consistent season. I think Jota's been very underrated. And obviously with the injury, it's hard to put him in those conversations. But for whenever he's come in, he's performed. And I think his ball playing ability this season, Jota, was absolutely incredible. We've really took it to a new level. And, you know, the one thing I will say, though, is as mad as it sounds as a Liverpool fan, yeah, Pep going to City was one of the best things that could have happened to us. Because I think there's a level of...
You honestly believe that, bro? Because you would have won multiple more Premier Leagues.
But the thing is, it's mad, though, lad, because you say we'd have won more. We would have only been and dragged to the level of the next best. And at the time, the next best weren't great. So we don't go on to win Champions Leagues if we're only at the level of Man U or Chelsea or Arsenal.
I don't know though about that, bro, because I just think that he's...
No, because I don't. But again, he knew he needed a Fabinho. He knew he needed a Van Dijk. He knew he needed an Alisson because you've had an Edison. He's had a Fernandinho. He's had a De Bruyne. He's had he knew he needed players of that level to compete with the players that you had. So he was always going to be happy to take whatever he got because he knew that's the hard way. If we would have only been buying players to be like, all right, well, fuck it, we're only going to have to compete with Harry Maguire's. We're only going to have to compete with fucking, you know, Rudigers and them, man, there. Like, he would have still built a team, but he might have kept all the players that Liverpool fans knew in their heart of hearts aren't good enough to take us to where we want to be. Like you can't look back at your best period of dominance without Liverpool being the antagonist of that story, and vice versa. Like the two go hand in glove. We are both sides or the opposite sides of the same coin in that respect. And I genuinely think, in terms of the level, Liverpool do not touch that level, and that's the best level of football I've ever seen. I'll be so real. Like, we do not touch that level, and there's something in that level that, like, we might not see again in our lifetime. Do you know what I mean? Like, my son might not see that level. Do you know what I mean? It'll just be taught stories and folklore at that point in time. So there is something in it that you can look. It's bittersweet almost. Do you know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. If Klopp still assembled the exact same team and there's no City, yeah, we're doing a clean sweep for fucking 6, 7, 8 years, obviously. But I just don't think there's a universe or an alternate universe where that happens, because Klopp was driven so much by City and what Pep built, and Pep was driven so much by Liverpool and what Klopp built. So I just genuinely think the two go hand in hand.
No, I hate when you say it like that. Yeah, I get it. It's probably the better way to think about it, other than we could have had multiple Premier Leagues. This is what Karl says. He sort of agrees with you. He says FSG wouldn't have backed Klopp as much as they did, maybe if Pep wasn't here.
You knew the challenge. Like, it wasn't like it was like just like you're rolling the dice, and who we'll see in like in match week, match day 13 to 16, who's coming and rising to the top. It was, you always knew from the second the season started, your barrier and the barometer is City and what City have assembled from the summer. If you want to win it, you have to be at that level.
No. Listen, I understand that. I still think you probably would have won more Premier Leagues, probably. But no, I hear what you say. It's a fair comment. Let me ask you a question about Konate. We touched on him a little bit before. If he's out tomorrow or on Sunday, if he's out of the game on Sunday, how much does that one player impact your team? Because I can't lie, bro. When I first seen him for you guys, when you signed him, I was like, "Oh, this guy looks like a average player, squad rotation player." Yeah. Now I'm looking at him thinking, I actually kind of rate him, to be honest with you. I think he's a pretty good defender. And if he's out, then obviously the only options really you've got, as far as I'm aware, is either swap him with Konsa or put Gomez in and then play Conor Bradley right back, which neither of them as ideal. So how big is that for you if he's out? Does that affect your confidence a lot? Are you still like, what are you saying?
Bro, as I say, we're a threadbare squad at the moment anyway. And I know, my biggest regret is that we're not going to be able to go toe-to-toe with you. And when I say toe-to-toe, it's like your best 11 versus our best 11, like one last dance. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to get to do that time.
FA Cup, bro. We'll be there.
Well, yeah, might be.
We'll be there. We'll beat Newcastle. We'll do our business. You just handle your business. And Pep versus Klopp, FA Cup final, Wembley. We'll be there.
We'll beat the scum, say less. But I like that in my mind is really like the drawback to where the fixtures fell for us. I think it's probably fell at the right time for it being Martian to be in Anfield, considering we're at the top of the league. I think that's great. Just in terms of the full squad availability. In terms of Konate, that's massive, because I think he is someone. He, as much as Haaland's already admitted, Van Dijk's horrible to play against. Due to the fact that he doesn't win much against him, he doesn't win many of his duels. Van Dijk's got a really good reading of the game, and he'll battle him. And I think that Van Dijk likes that he likes to get a little bit more physical with a Haaland than some other players.
Yeah, because it's rare nowadays. Most strikers these days are the more small, agile type strikers. So Van Dijk's a big lad. I reckon Haaland probably enjoys it as well. But obviously, yeah, Van Dijk is a strong guy, and I actually think that Haaland.
Actually, before Van Dijk's in his 30s, Haaland's still a youth to Van Dijk, so there is still that level of like seniority to be like.
Well, this is what I'm saying about Haaland, bro. If I was Haaland on Sunday, I'd not completely avoid it, but I try and not get into those battles with Van Dijk. Not because I think that Haaland will lose every battle. Yeah, obviously he'll lose a lot of them because Van Dijk's great, but I try and more play the movement in the box, because Haaland's movement is frightening. It's one of the most frightening movements of a striker I've ever seen in football. And Van Dijk's getting on for nearly 33. That's where Haaland will have the edge over Van Dijk. If I was him, Haaland, I would be focusing more on where am I in the pitch, where's my runs, try and move around, and it's all about the movement rather than right. Come on, let's have a wrestle with Van Dijk. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not the way I think
and
we should play it.
And that's where I would have, and that was my point about Konate, because in those moments that you just mentioned there, Konate is excellent at that. We don't really do that much last ditch stuff. Your team don't not do it as much, and we're not ones who are doing it. But when you've got a guy there that is still capable of putting his body about, being a bit of a firefighter, Konate's there. Some of his blocks, especially in the final, some of his blocks in recent weeks, some of his last ditch tackles, like he's got really good at timing those things and adding those things into his game as well. So I think that type of player in Haaland to make those late runs, if he does ghost and just drift one way or the other, it is nice when you've got that other extra bit of cover in a Konate who's quick, strong, pacey, and capable of being able to kind of save your skin when you need it. So it would be a huge blow, especially at this stage of the season, because it's one of them, like, this is a massive 6-pointer, but like, if you had to go 5 games without Konate and you'd have him for this game, I think a lot of people would say I'd rather have him for this game and go 5 games without. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially because you don't play like Arsenal after this. You know what I mean? Like you know, what I mean, you
exactly.
probably do. I can't lie, bro. If Konate's not in that team, yeah, and it's Quansah and Gomez or Gomez and Bradley, like, and we don't win, that's poor. Yeah, that is poor. And that's no disrespect to those players, but like, come on, man. Like the drop off there is quite something. Like we've got
that's the scary thing. It is on paper the drop off is enormous, but in terms of form and in terms of momentum and in terms of what those lads have done in their sample size of footy for Liverpool this season, there hasn't really been much of a drop off. Liverpool fans are debating where's the drop off between Bradley and Trent, and anybody in the right mind knows that there is a drop off.
Yeah, but we all know there's a drop off, though. You know what I mean? Bradley's done really good, but
he has. But when you're watching it, you're like, is that like really? Like, and there is. Obviously, there is. But at the same time, we're still as effective. He's still created opportunities. He's still able to get up and down on the pitch. Like, so don't get it twisted. I'm not saying these lads are going to be able to lace the boots long term, or like even coming now between now and the end of the season and carry us over the line. But when they've been called on, this might be a stretch too far, almost in the same way the Arsenal game was. For a couple of the people that were kind of sprinkled into the Arsenal team in the Premier League, it was just a bridge too far, because Arsenal on the day were just absolutely class. And you've kind of just got to call a spade. You weren't good enough. I think it is going to be very difficult to expect to win, which is why Klopp's game plan may change. I think the onus is on City to go out and attack. And I think we've always caught you off guard when we're just very quick to just hit you on the counter. Absolutely fly it with your counter. We've got pace. We've got pace in Nunes. We've got pace in Diaz. We've got pace in Salah. Utilize that pace, catch on the break, and actually defend for our lives in large parts, and just find openings where we can really take it to City. And if we're able to do that and be clinical, I think you will get desperate the more City get. We don't really see a desperate City that often, but I think you may get a little bit desperate if you feel like you need to get that result. You can't be 2-0 down and be like, all right, let's fucking shut up shop and we'll worry about Villa or we'll worry about
Arsenal. If we're 2-0 down, like, we might as well just call it off and just focus on the Champions League, bro. Like that's a crazy one. Honestly, like we've got to go there and play like we did against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, against Real Madrid. You know what I mean? Solid at the back, which we've not really been a lot this year. And take our chances when we get them. If we're down 2-0, bro, I ain't thinking about the Premier League anymore if we're down 2-0, man. I'm thinking about back-to-back Champions Leagues, bro. And maybe FA Cup. You know what I mean? Get me an FA Cup and a Champions League. But nah, it's gonna be interesting. You know, the man who scares me most is actually not Salah, it's Nunes. Because you know with Salah, like,
I love to hear it. Go on, tell me.
No, seriously, because you know Salah's obviously a great player, yeah, but like, if Ake's out there, I kind of can back Ake to like not get smoked. That doesn't mean he's going to pocket Salah. That's not what I'm saying, bro. I'm just saying, like, the majority of it, I think Ake can do a decent job against him. Nunes, yeah, this guy, like, he's such a weird footballer. Like, you don't know what he's about to do. His pace in behind our high line against Ruben Diaz is going to be frightening. It's going to be frightening, bro. Because you seen what happened with Rashford, yeah, when he paced out Diaz and luckily his header was crap, and obviously Walker come back. But if we because what I expect you guys to sort of sit in for a bit, not like defend for your life, but just sit in for a bit. You know what I mean? Try and work the way, and City will have a lot of possession. I would imagine City will have possession with the players that we're going to have on, and you'll try and hit us on the break. And if we are playing a high line with Ruben Diaz at the back, and you play Nunes down the middle, oh Lord, yeah, that's gonna be a crazy one. Edison is gonna have to be making sure that he's off his line, yeah, because he's gonna have to be there. Walker's gonna have to be close. That's for me the scariest aspect. And it's weird because I know people be like, you're disrespecting Salah. No. I've actually predicted Salah to score a goal. What I'm saying is, I think that in this type of game, if Salah's playing on the wing and he's holding the width, I feel like we can deal with that. What we can't deal with is those balls. McAllister, Zoboslai got good passes on them. If they put a ball in behind for Nunes, we can't deal with that because ultimately Diaz is slower than Nunes. You get what I'm saying? And that's a vulnerability. I think there's nothing that we can do it. This is why a lot of us have been discussing should Diaz even play, and I don't even know if he should play.
It'll be interesting because I think Darwin Nunes is in the best form of his Liverpool career for us at the minute, and I don't think that's a wild thing to say. I've said it for a while. He's a player that plays on confidence. He needs that. He's an emotional player. He needs that confidence. But what impressed me with him yesterday, I was in work, so I didn't see the full match, but I've seen his goals. And that second goal, the thing that Liverpool fans always level at Darwin is if he thinks about it, he overthinks it and he fucks it. When he doesn't think, it's more instinctive, it's more natural, and he's got an array of finishes under his belt when he doesn't think about it. That second goal, he's thinking about it. Second the ball starts to bounce in front of him, he's thinking about what technique do I want to go with? How do I want to hit it? When's the right time to hit it? The defender's not closing me down, so I've still got a little bit of time, and then he executes. And that was when I was like, all right, yeah, the penny's starting to finally drop with Darwin now. Like, he can just lift his head up and just bend one into the top bins. Like, he's got that. You know, he will just try the audacious first time finish and it'll come off for him. But in those moments where you could see the cogs turning in his head and it's like he's harnessed the ability to be a good footballer and a good striker, that's when I feel like you're up against a very different animal this time round. I'm confident in his ability at the minute. I'm confident that he's probably feeling the best he's felt for a long time, especially in the Liverpool shirt. I feel like the Benfica version of Darwin has arrived. And it's been here for a while, but I think football fans along the Premier League spectrum are starting to appreciate the value and the talent that is within him, even if they don't think he's the finished product yet or the finished article. I think they can all see why we went out of our way to throw that money on him, because look, like we've spoke about it so many times when we've spoke about like Man United or Chelsea or whoever, like the striker market's dead, bro. Like if we would have went for a striker in the summer, who the fuck was we realistically going to get?
You know what? I can't lie, yeah. I've been saying all season Arsenal should get Tony. I've watched a lot of Brentford in the last couple of months because we've played him twice. You played him. I think someone else played him. I watched about 4 or 5 times. Oh, I've not seen him do anything decent. Like he's a very average player, man. He's a very average player.
He probably played better in a better system with the better players around him. Like look at
that's fair. That's fair.
Look what Rice has done, and you could say the same for Ollie Watkins. But realistically, again, it doesn't escape the fact that you're still going to be paying Bruce Dees for Ivan Toney or Ollie Watkins. Now, to me, they're not world beaters, and I'm not trying to be out here saying that Nunes is a world beater and he's an out-and-out world beater right here, right now. But in terms of his potential, he reminds me, and again, it's because obviously the Uruguayan connection, but he is like the perfect hybrid of a Cavani and a Suarez. Like he is literally, he's a little bit shorter, so he's a little bit more mobile than what Cavani ever was. But he's got that needle that Suarez had. He's not got the skill set that Suarez had with the ball at his feet, make no mistake about it. He's never going to have that level of skill set. But in terms of his sheer determination to drive towards goal, it's there in abundance. And I just think if we can harness it and obviously take it up a few levels and refine it a little bit, I just don't see how we don't end up with an elite striker at our club for the next 2 to 3, 4 seasons, potentially upwards, depending on, the project, the management and the structure and how things go. But you're not saying you'd waste money on an Ivan Toney, but if you're going to spend 60, 70 bags on someone, I'd have Nunes all day.
Well, it's Tony, bro. They're talking 100, man.
That's what I'm saying. But all right, then if you're spending 100 bags, I'm having Nunes all day.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of money, bro. Tell me about the game then. What score you reckon it'll be? What's the result? You think Liverpool will do it? You think City will do it?
Draw? I said, yeah, I'm holding firm on that 1-0. I think we've managed to score past years a couple of times when I felt like City are better than us. I feel like we're not necessarily got the best available team, but we're in a very good moment, playing some really good football. So I do believe that we will not necessarily nick a goal, but we will do enough to get a goal, and hopefully that's enough to get the 3 points.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Alvida Zayn, man. I can't see us not scoring.
Oh, I can't see that again, but I get part and parcel. I can and I can't. If we get the 1-0, I'd be made up. That's what I'd want as a scoreline. But if we get drawn into a bit of a slugfest, it could be scary settings. It could be 3-2s. It could be 4-3s. It really could be a spectacle. It's going to be fire.
This is why I just think
there's so much, the storylines, the taglines, the hashtags, the fucking Barclays Premier League, all of the shit around it, the coach greetings, all of that mental. And then, as you say, in the tunnels, the stare down, bro. This is the end of the war. We've been in it. We've been in this for 10 years, bro. Like the City and Liverpool thing has been 10 years deep. This is our end. There will be a new chapter, of course, and another iteration of it. But in terms of the war, bro, this is where it comes to an end. Potentially, as you say, we'll see you at Wembley.
Probably will. Now, you know what it is? I just can't see us not scoring a goal. And if we were to lose 1-0, we've probably missed chances. Because I just don't see how we don't create at least 2 or 3 good opportunities. Yeah. And that means we got to miss all 3 of them. This is why I've gone for 3-1, because I just think we're going to create chances. I think if we can get De Bruyne with any space, he will create chances. And Foden, obviously on the left hand side, would like to create chances, but it's going to be a madness. Who do you think is going to win the title?
Ask me on Race for Europe on Monday, innit? Ask me on Monday, bro.
If Liverpool win, Liverpool are depot. You can't say Liverpool are not favourites. Liverpool are 100% favourites.
Yeah, no, I said it from the start, the top of the show, bro. If Liverpool beat you guys on the weekend, the only thing that stops us is the injuries and the inability to bring people back when we need them. Like, I think that is going to be the drawback for us. I don't think there's another 11 that could be put out in front of us that will play us off the park or that will beat us when it comes to push, come to shove. That's my apprehension. That's my biggest fear at the minute. It's being able to say with chest that we're going to have the fitness availability of the players that we need, the most importantly. That's just where my head's at on that one. Why, if I ask you, who do you think's going to win the league?
I still think City are going to win the league because I think we're going to win on Sunday. Okay. I think if City don't win on Sunday, I think Liverpool become favourites. I think if you win or draw, Liverpool become favourites, because then you don't play City or Arsenal again, and it's just about matching Arsenal and City results. And I know Arsenal have a 5 or 6 better goal difference than you.
Yeah.
But they play City next, and then Brighton. You play someone, and then Sheffield United at home. So you have the opportunity there to easily claw back those goals. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you get a win or draw, I think you become favourites. I just think we need to win, man. I think we need to win the game. I really do. Yeah, I really do, man. It's going to be crazy, bro. It's going to be crazy. So you're doing a watch along, innit? You said before you're doing a watch along.
Yeah. So I'm on the Redmen on it'll be Sunday now. I'm going to be over there. They've asked me to jump in studio, so I'll be there. Doing my usual slot there. So I'll be covering the pre-match content. We'll take you right through to the watch along. So all of your City Brigade can come and crash it when we're winning 5-0.
Oh, we will be there. We'll be there.
Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, if anybody wants to tune in, make sure that you do. We'll be there live all Sunday, giving you some content. But it's gonna be do you know what? It's one of them ones where I'm not like, you know, when we do this and you laugh because your video with Saeed the other day had me in stitches. Like, obviously, you know, when he's winning, he's call man up. And I just think those clips are great when you're on the the right end of the result.
Mm.
Clips when it doesn't go your way and there's high stakes. Like, I don't know if I don't really ever think I've got a good feeling about being clipped up like that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
You know what's kind of crazy about that game though is like deep down we all knew that City was probably going to win that match.
Yeah, of course.
Even though it's a derby and that.
Reason, bro.
Yeah, even though it's a derby and people are like, oh, anything can happen on derby day. Like, nah, this United team is ass. Like, we was always going to win that game. But this one's like, this is different. You know what? You know what's kind of crazy actually? In the 0.0001% chance Arsenal don't win tomorrow, that would be a madness. that would be a madness.
Yeah, but no, just be like, I know, like, my girl, she's going to be happy come Sunday. She's an Arsenal fan. She's going to be happy. Like, either way, she's going to be happy.
Well,
like,
unless they don't win tomorrow.
I just know that they'll win tomorrow. She'll be happy. She's going to be happy all weekend. Trust me. And I probably won't hear the end of it. Like, I'll be real.
Cool. Yeah, man, crazy. Listen, guys, that's the last live preview now. Because I'm out all day tomorrow. I got a preview video coming up with Hussam tomorrow night. That's just a pre-record.
Keep smashing it, bro. You're flying at the minute as well. I keep seeing yours and Potts' channels just keep growing. So make sure everybody subscribe and like the. Oh, don't tell me I froze when I'm plugging you.
What?
Did I freeze? I can't. I froze.
Yeah. You froze, but it'll come back in a set, probs. I think. I don't know.
I don't know. Probably the best time to end it. But big up everybody anyway if you can still hear me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, big up to you. Right, guys, gonna dip there. Let me see if anyone's live, man, because I always forget to do redirects in it. I'm an L YouTuber. Let's see who's live. Yeah, Lee's live. Lee's doing a watch along, man. Right, we'll send you to Lee Gunner. You can go watch. But I think Barcelona are playing someone, so I'll send you over there. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Big up to all you. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Hussam preview coming up tomorrow on the main, and then obviously the watch along on Sunday. Peace out, and I see you guys in the next one. See you later.